Pinder from the Opinion Page with Lisa Ganga, lead writer on the special Tax Watch report on the multi-layers of government in the lower Hudson Valley. Here's a scorecard. 3 counties, 47 villages, 6 cities, 56 school districts, 30 towns, and a stunning 556 special districts for sewer services, water, fire, library services, etc. Does this explain why our tax bills are so high in this area?
Well, taxes are complicated. There's never one reason. There are many, many reasons for high taxes, but it is in there are definitely extra costs built into having multiple layers of government providing similar services in certain areas, and there are savings that could be found in the right place with the right consolidation or dissolution.
Yeah. Well, give me an example of a troubled spot, so to speak.
Um, well, for instance, Greenberg is a very complicated town. It has 6 villages, and each of those villages has a police department, and the town has its own police department. So they're spending a lot of money for all of those personnel and all of those officers to provide protection in very small little areas. Um, and then one of the places we took a look at is there's a problem with the complicated layers in that sometimes, excuse me, people are paying for services that they don't get. Sometimes they're not paying for services they do get. And for instance, in Briarcliff Manor, there's an area where people are paying for 2 library districts. So these overlapping crazy district lines make things much more complicated than they need to be.
So you almost need a tax lawyer to read your tax bill. You profiled one taxpayer, Eileen Larkin of Palisades. Can you tell us a bit about her story, her tax bill?
Eileen Larkin, we wanted to highlight Eileen Larkin because she lives in an area with some of the most complicated tax bills in our region. She has 16 lines on her tax bill, and she doesn't necessarily pay the highest taxes in the area, but she really is an example of how you have an amazing number of jurisdictions that are sticking their hand in your pocket, so to speak.
Yeah, and she's also one of those taxpayers who feels she has reached her limit, and she's looking to pull up stakes and move.
Yeah, she spoke for a lot of seniors who've been here a long time who feel like they just cannot afford the bills that they're looking at, even though her house is paid off. She had to take a part-time job just to pay her taxes. She takes her check and puts it right in the bank and saves it all for her tax bill.
So, talk about some of the efforts to change the status quo. I mean, some places are actually making some headway. What's going on?
There are a couple towns in Westchester, Ossining and Cortland, that have gotten rid of their local police departments and get contract with the county for police services, and that's saved them a lot of money. And there are places where that are studying consolidation or dissolution now. Rye among them. Rye is looking at getting rid of the town government and keeping the village governments. And Ossining has also been studying consolidation between the village and the town for a long time. But they also have a lot of shared service contracts between the village and the town, and they've been able to save money that way. And a lot of experts think that could be a good solution that gets around some of the problems that arise when you try to consolidate or dissolve an entity. Shared services can be accomplished a lot more easily and save money in similar ways.
What are some of the hurdles to I guess, accomplishing some of these goals? I mean, we're at the end of the Great Recession, and there's still been very few consolidations of school districts, other government entities. I guess, what are the hurdles? What are the barriers?
Yeah, well, one of them is legal, or state law does not make it that easy to consolidate. There was a new law a few years ago that tried to streamline the process, but a lot of people we talked to said it's really not gone far enough. And but there are also just identity issues, and there's the problem when you consolidate two entities. Sometimes one group of taxpayers will have to pay a little more because you're spreading out some of the costs to a larger group, and then some will pay less, and that pretty much torpedoes your efforts to consolidate in a lot of cases. School districts really have not been at the forefront of consolidation. There've been several village dissolutions upstate. Um, Seneca Falls is the largest, but
Well, school district, I mean, in many cases, communities don't even want to give up the mascot name. So I
yeah,
guess we can almost forget about
yeah,
giving up their whole district.
and a lot of, as everybody knows, school districts are where the money is for
Sure.
most taxpayers. So, but that's an even more complicated issue than getting rid of your fire district or it's much more emotional for people, I think.
There's more to this report online at lohud.com/taxwatch. You have a graphic. Tell us a bit about that.
There's a map that you can click on to show your part of your town, village, school district, and it breaks down the median value of a home and the median tax bill for each of those little divisions. So you can compare it to your neighbors, whether, being in this district means you're paying a lot more in school taxes than, say, your neighbor in the next school district in the same town. So it breaks it down a little bit for people.
Sounds like three-dimensional chess. There's also videos where you highlight the tax experiences of different families and
hmm
individuals throughout our region,
couple videos.
and an online poll as well.
Online poll.
What are you trying to get at there?
We're looking at for people's attitudes toward which entities they're most willing to part with,
Okay.
and then also some of the ideas of streamlining Rye and Mamaroneck, which is a very complicated area, and whether you're willing to give up your police department and turn over those services to the county. So I mean, obviously they're unscientific, but they're fun.
Okay.
So.
We're also hosting a live editorial spotlight discussion on this subject at 1 p.m. on Wednesday, January 23rd, and you'll be joining us for that as well. And we'll be conferring with some local experts on these issues. You can go to lohud.com/editorial spotlight to tune in live next week, and you can also submit questions by engaging the Cover It Live feature on your computer screen. So, thank you, and thank you, Lisa.